some fast times for the Cobble Hill puzzle. Do we know, Andrew, which one are we using tonight, right now? Oh, Portland puzzle. All right. It's a 500 piece, and we are excited to the top 16 will advance. There are 2 wild card spots for time after that, but we've already got the first 16 qualified. Yeah, great. They did phenomenal. For those of you that weren't here earlier, we've got some super sponsors here, and want to make sure that everybody stops by those booths and talks to Aurora Puzzles over there from Alaska. We got Cobble Hill from Canada. We've got Paul. We've got Preserve My Puzzle from Brooklyn, New York. We've got Kelsey. We've got California Map Company from California. We got a lot of great sponsors here, and appreciate all of them. Okay, real briefly, does anybody, number one, does anybody have any questions? I'll go through the rules real quick. Rules are simple. We're going to do a countdown. Go ahead and put the puzzle together as fast as you can. If you drop a piece, we cannot help you. Once you take the puzzle out of the bag, please put the bag on the floor, and we will retrieve it. We'll get it out of your way. The monitors are over here. They are there to help you if you need help or if something goes wrong. But you get to the tail end. You have 3 or more pieces. They count together. If you get to the tail and you don't have your puzzle complete. But anybody have any questions? I want to make sure. Everybody ready? No? Okay.
Woo!
All right. Okay. Guys, they got the standby up there. We're going to coordinate this a little bit better than I did last time. We're ready. All right, there's the ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
And we're off and puzzling for round 2 of the individuals competition at the Portland Jigsaw Masters 2025.
Off we go.
Off we go. I'm Rob Shields, one of your hosts. And with me is Carly Craig. Welcome back, Carly.
Welcome back, Rob. We are having such a nice time. We already did our first preliminary round. We are back for the second?
Individuals round 2. That's
Individuals
right.
round 2.
2 of 3. So the top 16 will move on in each round. And then out of those 16, that'll get us to 48. And then we'll have 2 wild cards, which will be the fastest next 2 people from any competition.
Wow.
So here we're looking at Davey Black, a local competitor, and also runs the Portland Puzzle Company the Individuals in Pairs weekly competition. Mm-hmm. We're looking at a Portland Puzzles puzzle. Davey's got a really interesting way of approaching things, and we'll be talking to Davey explicitly later. But
can't wait to meet Davey.
Davey's a lot of fun, but also his approach to puzzling, as you can see here, is a lot of people will flip and then sort, or flip and sort simultaneously. Davey, generally speaking, does not do that. So he just dives in, starts picking out pieces, and then assembling them and putting them together. So in some ways, it saves a lot of time because he can get up and running.
Sure.
In other ways, he's missing a whole bunch of information because he hasn't flipped over a bunch of those pieces. They're just sitting face down.
Right, right.
So I love Davey for that. I love his approach. It works well for him. I'm curious as to if we'll see more people doing that in the future. Whereas you can see here more typically, we've got Carol here, I think, and she's doing a classic flip and sort simultaneously. So she's going through and flipping all the pieces and then sorting out the ones that she cares about.
I have to say, I'm really loving the design of this puzzle, the mushroom house from the Portland Puzzle Company. We got a close-up of that. Oh, it looks like the art and design is done by a Kelsey Sweet. So thank you, Kelsey, for loaning your talents to today's competition.
Yeah, it's a very nice graphic puzzle. It's got a lot of
beautiful, bold,
solid colors. Some people are going to love this because it gives them a lot of color to work with. Other people don't love big patches of color. The blocks of white in there are going to be interesting for some folks. Before we get too much further on, we've got, as we're doing every time for the first hour, we're bringing along an expert in helping us talk about these puzzles.
Fantastic.
And so we have joining us on the call, Fruzy. Fruzy, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I hear you just fine. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yay, thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Fruzy.
Now, Fruzy,
Hi.
tell us a little about you're joining us here. Tell us a little bit about your puzzle announcing background, just so that we all know.
Yes, so you might know me from, if you have seen any of the European Championship live streams, I was the host of that. The reason for that is that I'm originally from Hungary, so I knew the organizers, and that's how I ended up there. And apart from that, I have also been, that you have mentioned before, there's some online competitions here in Europe that are pretty popular. That's the European Jigsaw Jam, where I also co-host from time to time with Michelle. So that's pretty much my puzzle commentating experience.
Nice. Well, I would say that announcing for the European Championship is a pretty good, solid foundation.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. So what do you think of this puzzle?
Ooh, it looks like, I think it's deceivingly easy. Or, well, deceiving in that it looks easy, but I think it's way more challenging than what it looks like. It's
Sure.
full of gradients. There's a lot of like patterns, because I could see that the mushroom has all these lines in there that can be very confusing for people that are not that good with anything that is like patterny, or they have to like orientate themselves in the image. There are some very well distinguishable parts, which I think are going to be formed quite early on. So like the top of the mushroom, which is like very red compared to everything else. Like you could already see on some of the tables that like some very distinct red pieces are being selected already, which I think is a good start, because then I would kind of guess that you would already get about 20, 30 pieces out of the way if you can get the top of the mushroom. Yeah, the edge is always like a question if you do it first or not. Here, it could help you, because it kind of helps you orientate as well, like where you are in the image. And there's also like the sky kind of like goes around the mushroom, which can also be very, very helpful to you. I think that also has a bit of gradient. I couldn't really see that from the image.
Yeah, the red really jumps out to me, and I'm definitely a person who looks for, like, if a color speaks to me, I'm just going for it. So I expect that we'll see a lot of. The good news is also that the red is easy to sort out. So if you don't want to do it, like you can still create a pile of it and get it out of the way.
Exactly. And if you can like sort out parts that are like this very distinct compared to the rest of the puzzle, that can also like clean up your entire view of what you're
Sure.
looking at. Because if you have about 500 pieces spread out in front of you, it's a bit chaotic at first. And if you just like can pick out whatever and just clean up what is in front of you, you can also get like a better view of what is in the image or where the pieces are going. So that can also be like a strategy that some people might choose, just to like sort everything out.
I'm looking around, and we're at 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes in here, and a lot of folks have gotten through their first pass at flipping and sorting things, so they're starting to get to work on the puzzle proper, either the edge if that's what they're attracted to, or if that's what they typically do, or moving on to other parts. So we're getting into the well and truly deep, starting to assemble things. This is where, either you're very excited about what you have in front of you, or you're very challenged by what you have in front of you.
And we do have the puzzle here displayed once again by Kelsey Sweet Art and Design, and manufactured here locally in Portland with the Portland Puzzle Company, one of our sponsors today.
And hopefully, if everything worked out well this time around, the puzzle image should be available in the live stream chat as well. So if you want to see the
fantastic.
image, assuming that we've gotten our technical issues figured out, you should be able to look up close and personal at that image whenever you like.
Oh, yes, we have our Google Drive link here in the chat.
Yeah, it is quite useful to actually see the details of the image.
Yeah, by the way, Frizzy, it's there for you as well. So hopefully
Yeah,
you can get
exactly.
at it.
Because I can also just look at the live stream at the moment and just see what is going on there. And it's hard to make out like all the little details of the picture.
So we did notice that a lot of competitors here today have plushies with them, or sort of little stuffed animals there for moral support. Are there any sort of techniques that you yourself use as a competitor?
I actually don't have a mascot.
Okay, no mascot.
I'm the reason for that is that I'm actually extremely superstitious, and I don't really want to get started on it because
So if you
if I
start, you have to
ever
keep doing it.
yes, exactly. So like better not start. But for example, at the European Championship during the live stream, at one point we actually always did like a run through of mascots because
Yeah.
it's also starting to become like a phenomenon that everybody has one. If you have heard about it before, it's also a technique that actually programmers use. I think that's a ducky that sits on like your screen or on
Interesting.
top of your screen. And whenever you're kind of lost in what you're doing or you can't find what you got wrong, you kind of have to talk to the ducky and tell the
Interesting.
duck of like what your entire strategy is. And that is partly why mascots can be very useful for some people. They actually talk to them, and
Wow.
that helps you kind of get through your brain and get through the chaos that you are in, and it can actually make you faster. But obviously for some people it's just emotional support.
Right. So they're not so it's much like my relationship with my dogs. They're there for emotional support, but we have conversations every day.
Yes, exactly. Like, and you almost feel like they talk back at you.
100%. No, they definitely do.
So now we got somebody who's got a couple of trays. I can't tell what those are exactly, but nice and dark. And they've sectioned off the red, just like I was talking about before. And now, like we were talking about last round, that gives them something that they can just move up a whole class of puzzles all at once, or a whole class of pieces.
We have a commenter who go ahead. Go ahead.
It's also very useful, like to have like a dark one to like make out the details in the pieces for some people to just like have a better contrast compared to like the white table.
Yeah, and I know that some people use boards that are black on one side and white on the other side. And I know actually Zach Hill, who will be joining us a little bit later, has been talking about making puzzles in contrasting colors, making trays in contrasting colors to the typical piece color so that things stand out.
Oh, interesting. To come with the puzzle, maybe.
Yeah, now look at this. This is a person who's just got all of the pieces out, spread out. Everything is visible. It looks like it's sort of gradient sorted a little bit. This is the benefit of having a big table, which, you know, like if you're doing the European Jigsaw Jam and you're doing virtual competitions at home, you have whatever table size you want. But if you're doing competitions like in person, often you only have half a table. And so this kind of approach isn't available to you. I do find something vaguely comforting and satisfying about seeing every piece in just like in an exploded view here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it also feels like there could be like a very good stop motion made of the entire puzzle process of like the pieces just coming together for one puzzle in the end.
Well, you know,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I think you're
it
onto
looks
something
super
here.
comfortable.
Definitely. Beautiful. Beautiful artwork as well.
I do see that a lot of people are going for the edge now, though.
Yeah, or at least parts of the edge. Yeah, I've seen this a couple of times where you see sort of a corner of the edge being done and sort of moving on. So maybe in color blocks.
They're definitely edging.
Wonder if we can get a view of some of the competitors up here in the front, tables 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I think they're making some interesting progress. I'd love to be able to see that. Yeah, this is a person who's got an organized space. They've done a bunch of sorting. Sorting is one of those things that feels like it's wasting a lot of time, but it can really pay off at the end, depending on the kind of puzzler you are.
I think that's the first time I've seen somebody actually put the pieces in piles. She had sort of little mounds around of all the different colors.
Yeah, some people...
It's probably easier.
Go ahead.
It's probably easier to move those around. If it's just a pile, you can just like put one hand on top of it and move the entire pile instead of having to use all your hands.
Yes.
Yeah, and look how much of the table that frees up for her as well. It's a lot cleaner. You know, it doesn't give you access to those pieces, but if you're not going to work on those pieces right now anyway, so be it. So it looks like they're bringing together some of the, maybe the top of the mushroom. I can't quite tell what they have going on there.
So in our first preliminary round, we had a lot of the competitors finishing in the same area of the puzzle. Do you tend to see that often at these competitions, that everybody sort of gravitates towards finishing out in the same section of the puzzle? Is that common?
I think it very much depends on what image you have. There
Okay.
are some pictures that are very distinctly one strategy because it just makes sense. But then there are some, especially like the super busy ones, where you can just like reach wherever and you'll end up with a complete puzzle in the end, and it doesn't really matter what order you do it in.
Hmm.
But with pictures that have like these very big distinct shapes and colors, like here with the flowers on the left side and the top of the mushroom and that road in the middle, so like those are most probably going to be done first, and I would kind of guess that the green sections might end up being last, but it really depends. I usually like searching for people that go for a completely different strategy than everybody else. So
Sure.
because that is usually like the surprising one. But yes, for example, during the European Championship, there was one puzzle where the image was pretty much like a countryside landscape, and there was a car in the front of the image with
Hmm.
one red door. That red door was what everyone started with, and
Right.
then the puzzle went from there. So
Sure.
it really depends on the picture.
I think I would start with the little strawberry farmer. That would probably be my technique.
We were so we're still watching Jack Law, who is one of my favorite names when it comes to puzzlers, and Jack is a local competitor here, and Jack's got the border all stood up and starting to work on the interior there.
Fantastic work we're seeing here.
Yeah, there's already a big chunk of the puzzle done there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still wondering though if we can get shots of the folks in table 1 and 2. We've got Caitlin McCluskey and Sky Vanderzee. I can never remember Sky's last name. Sorry, Sky.
We'll get it later.
We'll definitely. I'll apologize to them later. But they're making some great progress. I want to take a look and see how they're doing.
Somebody here asked us about the amount of tables in the room.
There are 50 tables in the room, and in this competition, there are 50 competitors. I think we may be at 49, but
Yeah, one empty table.
at Portland Puzzle, at the Portland Jigsaw Master, we're looking at one person per table for the entire set of rounds. I mean, except where there are pairs and quads, obviously,
Every day they're puzzling.
every day.
You know, I got to talking with Puzzling Susie yesterday. She is very passionate about puzzling, and she was kind of hitting me with a bunch of facts, a bunch of factoids about fellow competitors, people that have taken titles. Are there any competitors that you have tend to see show up repeatedly to different competitions, not only in your area but all over the world?
Well, I think there's a big division between Europe and the US at the
Okay.
moment, simply because it's like a huge distance. There's not many people that can travel back and forth. Obviously,
Internationally, yeah.
Worlds is where I tend to see like people that are from literally all over the world.
Sure.
Otherwise, in Europe, it's pretty easy to get around. Like it's very and mostly as like domestic flights in the US. It's pretty easy
Right.
to get around. You hop on a plane and you're in, yeah, in our case, in a different country in a couple
Right.
of hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, there have been a lot of people traveling around. So there is, yeah, a community forming as the sport is growing here. And yeah, so there are faces that keep returning. And yeah, the European Championship the 2 weeks ago was a very good example of that because all of a sudden all of these people were in one place. Um, yeah, and the
Wow.
next stage is the Worlds.
Very nice.
All right, there we've got a picture of Sky Vandalist, and I just looked up her name. I wanted to make sure that I followed through on not calling her by the wrong thing. But we can see that Sky's got 3/4 of the frame set up, but the rest of it, the bottom is not there, and she's working her way out from the sides.
Yeah, pretty much working inwards from the edge for the sky. And I guess like the negative shape of the mushroom is going to form around the, yeah, whichever, wherever the sky is visible.
Yeah. It is. I think it looks like the image on the puzzle is a little more saturated than the image on the box. Because the image on the box is a lot of beiges and browns and that sort of thing, but it looks like there's a lot of sort of peaches and oranges coming out of the actual puzzle.
And I
It's
believe
actually
Lane
also
left
hard
his
to
phone.
tell if it's really a gradient or not, or if it's like blocks of color underneath each other. I think that the main reason that I can't see it is through the stream. It's just like impossible to see that. But if it's like literally like a pink and then a kind of pinkish orange and then an orange, or if it's an actual gradient.
Looks like an actual gradient. I got the box here in front of me, and it looks pretty continuous from the top to the bottom. Has a very much of a watercolor painting sort of feel.
Very nice.
Callie, is there something you were gonna?
Oh no, just that Lane Weatherly of the Portland Puzzle Company left his phone up here, and it was ringing.
Oh, that's exciting.
So Lane, if you can hear us anywhere in the room, we have your phone. We've located it.
Oop.
I do love the focus, the intensity. Okay, and I see how, they typically probably don't know the dimensions, or they're not really maybe putting too much thought into the dimensions, but maybe starting the edges small and then expanding? Or do you think that typically when people go for the borders, they try to aim for generally the size of the puzzle so they can work their way inward? Is there a method there?
I know for my approach to these things, and Frizzy, I definitely want to hear your opinion on this, is that I tend to just work with the pieces I have and then start standing them up as it's obvious where they go together.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised to find that a lot of people are just much better at putting them where they go and building them out in the size that they're used to seeing. What do you think, Frizzy?
In my opinion, it very much varies depending on whether you know the brand or not, because you're not going to be 100% sure how big the picture is going to be if it's a brand that you don't know. For the most popular brands, like here in Europe, that would be Ravensburger and Treffel, I would say. There, people have a general idea of how big the picture is going to be, so they can start building in from the middle, or from starbursting from specific parts of the puzzle, and then kind of guess how big it's going to be, so they can already orientate themselves. But for a brand that they're not that familiar with, for example, there the edge can help you a lot to know where you're going to be placing your segments later on, so you have an idea of where you are on your table. That's the one thing. But otherwise, it also depends on what kind of puzzler you are. Whether you go for the blocks of color. So if you want to if you're a sky specialist, for example, then you probably want to work on that, and then just go from there and kind of guess the dimensions of the puzzle from there, so you don't really need an edge. But if you are more for the pick and place method, for example, where you literally just pick up a piece and kind of put it down where it's supposed to be, and then you're going to be building from there, then you kind of need the edge to be able to orientate yourself, to be able to build the image just by kind of placing whatever piece you pick up. Yeah, so it really depends on what kind of puzzler you are. There are people who are die hard edge first, and then there's some who kind of select the edges while flipping, so they kind of separate them but not necessarily do them at first. But also another thing is that it's very, very practical to just have the edge on the side, even if you don't start with it, because if you get stuck with whatever you're doing in the image, you always have the edge to fall back onto, so you still do something while you're thinking about what to do next.
Yeah, I know Alejandro Clemente Leon, the prior year, 2023 world champion and 2022 world champion, does exactly that. He sort of saves himself some sort of snacks in case he hits a hard patch, that he's got something he can fall back on and work and sort of maintain his momentum.
And so when we're looking at the cut of this puzzle versus the last round, I know last round was more of a random. How would you describe this cut of this Portland puzzle?
Oh, this is definitely a random cut.
Definitely.
Yeah, because the pieces are all kinds of shape. They don't fall into a neat grid. The Portland Puzzle Company cut is a lot of fun in a lot of ways. That's one of the reasons that I enjoy it. You just have quirky little pieces, and I enjoy quirky little pieces that you're like, oh, I didn't know with that page shape could exist, or that this one's actually two shapes.
Sure.
Some people don't like that. I like that.
Andrew Weatherly. Oh, he didn't hear me. That's one of the owners of the Portland Puzzle Company.
I see the phone keeps ringing. We should pick up a call on.
We should on live.
Yeah.
I'm trying to return it to its rightful owner. Unfortunately, he's out doing puzzly things. But maybe we'll get his attention eventually.
We were just looking there a minute ago at Emily Frost, known as the Casual Puzzler online, and she'll be joining us, I think, in the next stream or two, so we can have a conversation with her. It looked like she was making some good progress. One of the things that we were looking at quite a while earlier was we were looking at Caitlin McCluskey, who's a transplant from Canada to California, moved from one great team to another great team. She really shows the intensity that you can bring to the puzzling. Like, you can see that she was moving quickly with intent. She was not giving any second to anybody else if she could manage it. So she was working just really hard on it.
Yep. And we've got the phone returned to Lane from the Portland Puzzle Company.
It's really all that matters is the phone.
Yeah, we just needed to get that phone back.
So, Frizzy, how was the European Championship?
Oh, it was a wild ride.
It was. I saw some things that would contribute to that, but tell me why you thought it was a wild ride.
Well, it was the very first event of such volume in Hungary. They have had some big competitions because the last one that they did, that was in March, that was just for Hungarians. There they had, I think, somewhere around 150 people or something like that. So that was like the biggest event until now. And then, it was just all of a sudden, 700 people. I can't exactly remember how many competitors we had all together, but it was like in volume, it was just big. And then, it was just so exciting to see because the sport is speeding up incredibly in the past year only. Like what I have been saying on the live stream the entire time is that during the Worlds in the previous years, if you had a solid somewhere around 50 minutes, you could pretty comfortably be in the finals. But now I think you have to be somewhere around 45 is my guess, because it's getting so fast. Like in the qualifying rounds, you would get people on the podium with 30 something minutes, 35, 34, wow, which is insanely fast. So it's also that's why it was extremely exciting to watch, because it just happens so fast. And then the other thing is that it was also exciting because there was a slight hiccup in the event, in that this was the first time that it was completely unpublished puzzles coming from the sponsor, which was a pretty big deal. The sponsor of the individual and the pairs rounds was Treffel. And they did provide all the images, but then after the first round, it turns out that on the back of the boxes, you could see the slight little pictures of the other puzzles as well. So kind of the surprise was gone, which was a talking point for pretty much everyone at the event. But it's not really a tragedy because nobody could have done those images,
Sure.
but it's also you see it. So it's kind of ruins the surprise. But the way I was looking at it is that it's a very good first step that finally there was a company that gave completely new puzzles for an event designed just for that, with the logo on the boxes.
Nice.
And with this one hiccup is something that they're going to learn from by next time.
Sure.
Yeah, I was talking with some of the Polish puzzlers earlier today, and Christian Niedziela was talking about how he felt being able to see the puzzles gives an advantage to certain classes of puzzlers and others not. And Veronica Huptis was saying that she did see the picture, but it didn't particularly help her, especially because when she saw the picture in full size, she had a different approach to how she would do it than when she was thinking about it when all she saw was the little thumbnail. So it seems like it was definitely a talking point. A lot of people were interested in it, but I wonder how much it actually had an impact on the results.
I actually also talked with a couple of people about it, and most of them said the same thing, that also when you were looking at the image, it was a very blue picture of a tree floating in a dark environment. There was something bright on the two sides, but it was hard to make out of what the picture actually is. And a lot of people were saying that it looked way more intimidating than it actually was. So people were also kind of hyping themselves into how this is going to be terrible, how this is going to be so hard. And then, once they actually had the puzzle in front of them, it was way more, friendly than what they were expecting. And they went with different strategies, as Veronica was saying as well.
And so, how did you yourself get into puzzling? I know that this is, I mean, for me particularly, this is a whole new world, and I'm so fascinated to hear how people get into speed puzzling. But how long have you been practicing?
I actually started in the beginning of 2024. I
Oh,
think it was
wow.
sometime in January. And well, the long-ish story is that I am in general pretty competitive. So like I come from dog sports actually,
Mm-hmm.
um, and at one afternoon I didn't have much to do, and I was like, are there competitions from puzzles? That would be pretty cool. And
Right.
I found the world championship, and I was like, okay, that's cool, and I entered. And that's pretty
Wow.
much that's pretty much how I started with speed puzzling. And then yeah, I started doing puzzles. And then the more I got into speed puzzling in general, I kind of discovered that it's very much like simultaneous interpreting for me, which is what I trained to do originally.
Sure.
And because of the rush, because of the hyper concentration, because of like how focused you have to be in that very limited amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got very, very hooked. And pretty much just started looking for ways to like be involved. And I started going to competitions. um, because I'm based in Germany, I was lucky enough that I could go to quite a lot of places, because here it started growing here just at the around the time when I got into the sport. So I went to competitions, started getting to know people, and then I ended up being neck deep in speed puzzling.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
I'm always asking what is going on in Germany, because relative to their population, they show up in force to like worlds. There's just so many of them. Must be an active community.
It is very active. The German Association, I think, has been doing a really, really great job. It's also partly, I think, it's a very puzzle-oriented nation. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ravensburger comes from Germany. There's a lot of like very, very good German brands of puzzles as well, but it's just generally very popular. And then the association is doing a great job in that they organize meetups pretty much all over Germany, which is not competitive or anything. It's really just trying to get enthusiasts together. And these are getting very popular. So you can get some meetups where you have 30, 40 people. And then there's just a huge need for competitions. So, like Michelle's Euro Jigsaw jams were also a very big kickstart for it, because all of a
Hmm.
sudden it was very accessible to everyone. Yeah, you didn't have to travel anywhere. You could just get the puzzles to you. And it started forming like a really tight knot community, I think.
Wow.
So we're looking at Zinli Pua here. She's a local competitor. She looks like she's working towards the middle here. It's hard to see because there's a box in the way, but she's got a lot of the sort of the edge obviously done, working in from the corners, and maybe working right through the middle of that.
It
I
also
wonder.
seems like she has a lot of the bottom of the puzzle done, but it's hard to see because her arms are blocking the view a little bit. It seems like there's a lot of that green area
There we
done.
go.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
totally
road,
connected.
and yeah, there's a lot of it done already.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, what we're seeing is the outline of the mushroom. We're not seeing the mushroom itself, but we're seeing where it will be. Obviously, large patches of solid colors interspersed with indiscriminate white things, a little challenging to approach.
And if we had to guess, where do we think we're going to land as far as our first finisher? Maybe what time code? I'm going to go for I don't know. Zinli looks like she's on her way here. I'm going to say 4107. That's my final answer.
Frizzy got a shot at what the finish might look like.
I would maybe go with 34 or 35 even, but
Okay.
Really?
mostly because of the random cut. I'm not very familiar with random cut puzzles in general. They're not that
Hmm.
prevalent in Europe. So it's pretty hard for me to tell if it's more difficult for people to do or not. It seems like it is, but yeah, I would guess somewhere around 44 maybe.
44. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking in the right around 40 was my guess. So you can guarantee that that's not going to be the right answer. But I'm looking over at Sky and Caitlin, and they seem to be making some really great progress. So hopefully we can get them here. Looks like we're getting a setup for that.
And here we can actually see a mushroom finally being formed.
I know, it just sort of dropped my jaw when I saw this happen. Like somebody actually went at that first.
Yes, and that's one thing that I was wondering about, because my first guess, just looking at the picture, would have been that they go for the mushroom first, because that's like so red. But then the more I think about it and the more I see of the rest of the picture forming, I can understand why people don't go for the mushroom anymore, because like the more you have of the surroundings, you can like kind of build to it, because with the spots and the red, I think it's very hard to orientate of where the pieces are going to be.
Sure.
Especially with the ribbon cut, it might be easier, because then you can kind of make out where the piece might fall. But with a random cut, you don't have that help.
So we're looking at Sky here, and she's got a lot of the sort of edges around the middle done, but a lot of the bottom still to go.
And once again, this puzzle is beautiful art, but done by the Kelsey Sweet. This one is called The Mushroom Keeper. The Mushroom Keeper is the name of this puzzle.
I like how she's got some spots just sort of in the middle of the mushroom there.
Yeah.
I don't know if she knows that that's exactly where they go, or if these are just sort of placeholders approximately where they are. I always admire people who can look at a puzzle piece and know right where to put it without having any other pieces near them.
Sure.
It might actually be like that edge of the top of the mushroom, like just that brown section underneath it.
Oh yeah, the line between where the brown part is and where the red part is that what you're saying?
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking, but it was hard to tell.
It's good to see somebody else out there with Peace Talks merch. Peace Talks being my puzzle podcast where we talk to people who are impacting the speed puzzling community in some way.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, people representing, appreciate that.
How long have you been doing your podcast?
About 2 years now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we've talked about the European Jigsaw Jam. I had Michelle who started the Euro Jigsaw Jam on that. Fascinating individual. She's a lot of fun to watch, but also like she went from being a casual puzzler to she had a moment that triggered her puzzle enthusiasm, her competitive puzzle enthusiasm, and within 3 months she was running an online competition.
It sounds like it's pretty addicting to those that catch the puzzling bug.
Yeah, definitely can be.
Oh, yes, it is.
Speaking from experience.
Yes. And I know Michelle very well because we're actually going to be on the same team at Worlds. So
right.
we're preparing together. So
Wow.
not only do I help out with some of her live streams for the competitions, we're going to be puzzling together as well. Like we puzzle together regularly.
You know, it was in part by inspiration from her that I just threw out a request to the community to say who wants to join. Because she said she had such a great experience when she was being overwhelmed by running the competition by just saying, hey, anybody willing to help me? And she got great people like yourself and people who were working behind the scenes on Euro Jigsaw Jam. She said she's made some amazing friends and puzzle companions. So I just took that and I was like, well, all right, let's give that a try ourselves. Why not?
Love it.
Not disappointed either.
Yeah, that is, I think, something that everyone gets to like learn in the puzzle community in general, is that you just have to throw a question out there and people are going to respond. Like it really turned into a very closely knit, tight community where everyone helps each other out. So yeah, it's you just literally have to ask.
Yeah, and the puzzle community hops in and helps out.
Can you speak a little bit about the lighting and how important it is for these competitors that you're in a well-lit space?
Me or Rob?
Sorry, Fruzy.
Well, from the stream, I actually can't really tell how well lit the area is. Yeah, it is obviously super important. And I hear more and more from competitors that they actually train for different kinds of lighting just so that they are prepared for like any kind of environment, because light can be your worst enemy at some competitions.
Sure.
There was one national competition, I think in Finland, maybe last year. I don't think it was this year. the sun was going down at one point, and it started shining through the one of the windows, and they actually had to move tables while
Yes.
people were still puzzling because it was shining in so badly that you can literally not see any of the puzzle.
Oh
So
no.
it's super important to be like prepared for these kinds of things, like the sun that comes in.
Sure.
But yes, it's extremely important, and like even the color temperature could sometimes influence of like how much you can actually see what is going on in the
Great
puzzle.
point.
But
Yeah.
it's also the design of the puzzle very much. There are just puzzles that are like slightly blurry, not that easy to make out. Also, if it's a photograph, it's a little bit harder to tell which piece is what if you're looking at it compared to an illustration,
Sure.
where lighting can help you a lot. And then the other influencing thing compared to the lighting is the quality of the puzzle, of like how matte it is and how much it reflects the light. There are now some manufacturers that are actually advertising themselves, saying that their puzzles are matte so that they don't reflect light. It's easier to see them. So yeah, it's definitely something that organizers have to be conscious of when they're choosing venues.
Sure.
As far as I can see from the stream here, the lighting seems to be okay. Like just seeing from the cameras, I don't really see reflections on the picture.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they brought in a lot of sort of diffuse lighting to the venue. And I think it seems pretty consistent, but it'd be interesting to see it from a field because right now we just have a bunch of lights in our face. So it's kind of
Right.
hard to contrast what's going on out there. But the Portland Puzzle Company, they tend to do a more reflective puzzle top. So lighting can be really important in that if you got a glare on the reflection, then it makes it really hard to see what's going on into a space.
Yep. They did cover all of the back windows, which were open earlier today. So it seems like they're being very mindful, making sure that the lighting is kept pretty even here at Avenue Portland.
I feel like we did have an occasion maybe sometime last year at the Portland Jigsaw Masters where the curtains were open and the sun was coming in, and we may have had a version of what Fruzy was talking about, but I think it was just handled by closing the curtains, so nobody had to move.
Sure, sure.
There's a shot of the
Oh,
lighting.
there we can see the lights.
Yeah, so you can see that they've got those kind of, I don't know how you describe them, these sort of diffuse light fixtures up there. They're sort of round
Lamps.
lamps.
I'm going with lamps.
I didn't know what the technical term was, but yeah. So I know that they brought those in. Last year they had stand-mounted lights, and those worked well in some places and not well in others. So I think this is a step forward.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a good setup. Like I don't see that much glare on the puzzles themselves, and then yeah, if everyone kind of gets a similar light as opposed to the other competitors as well, which is also an important factor. If one
Yeah.
side of the room gets proper lighting and the other is in half darkness, then that's not exactly the same circumstances for puzzlers, and it might make a difference in their times as well. Ooh, that's good progress there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
40 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty far off with my 41-minute estimation, but wow, this is so impressive. Looks like the mushroom keeper himself is completely assembled.
Yeah, and those white daisies there, I saw a couple of different people working on those, and those seem pretty tricky. It's interesting when you are looking at a part of a puzzle and you haven't seen the actual pieces of it, you just see it as a whole, and you're like, oh, well, that's actually not that hard. But then you actually see them cut into pieces, and you're like, these are all the same. Like every piece has roughly the same design on it. How do I actually put those together?
Mm-hmm.
And here as well, the random cut can, I think, influence it a lot. Because like with a simple ribbon cut, you can at least tell where it might be oriented, the piece itself, of whether it's horizontal or vertical. But with a random cut, you have no chance to really say. So you really have to kind of like be able to see the image very well and how the pieces fit into the image in your head. So yeah, those flowers are not as easy as they seem.
No, not by a long stretch.
So we've got Karen here on the screen. She and I were speaking last night at the social event, and she is our friend who came from Spokane all the way up here because she was looking for puzzlers in her area, couldn't find any. So she expanded the search, and it just so happened the Portland Jigsaw Masters were happening this weekend. So welcome, Karen, to the event. And she seems to be doing pretty well. I hope her family is watching at home. If you are, Karen is a delight. We had a lot of fun chatting, and we are thrilled to welcome her to the Portland speed puzzling community.
Speaking of the Portland speed puzzling community, this is Rose Robbins, one of our young, really great competitors. She and her mom, Leah, who's also in this round, are great puzzlers, but Rose is a very speedy puzzler. She's got an eye for it. I've been on teams with her, and mostly I just end up being the person who feeds the person who does the things. Because she just has, like a lot of good puzzlers, a lot of elite puzzlers, just an eye for where the pieces go. Once you see the picture and once you see the piece, she has that knack.
And we see here in the chat, these are actually LED balloon lights that we're using in here today. And they are specifically designed for equal distribution of light.
Oh, nice. I learned so much
Very
from the
good.
chat.
Very good.
Yes,
That also shows like good organization when you actually pay attention to what lights you're going to be using for a speed
Yes.
puzzle competition. It's like these small things that like it's really like the devil's in the details.
It all matters.
As they say, it really matters so much, but it's not a thing that you would think of when you think about organizing a competition at first.
No, definitely not. But that's all thanks to the Portland Puzzle Company and the AV team here at Avenue Portland, who did such a phenomenal job in setting up this once-a-year event.
So, Carly, did you ever expect that you'd be talking about the intricacies of venue lighting when it came to a jigsaw puzzle competition?
You know, I didn't not expect us to talk about lighting. I myself, you know, I'm a Hollywood girl, so I think about these things often, and I think it's just as important as any big old fancy Hollywood movie set or a jigsaw competition. The lighting matters.
So we were looking at Zin there, who is closing in around the top of the mushroom, and now we're looking at I think this is Sky, and we're looking. I was thinking she was doing a little bit farther ahead than I was thinking, because that bottom section is open, and so I wasn't seeing that from my position. So she's got a little ways to go. So Zin's actually doing really great.
Wow.
My estimate was also off with the 44 minutes.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, we're past all our estimates now.
I thought it was going to be faster, but also the moment I said it, I forgot it because I knew it was going to be wrong.
So how would we describe this puzzle as far as the finish? Is this, a glossy puzzle or a matte puzzle? Are there different finishes that you can have when you're getting your puzzles printed?
This is definitely a gloss finish, and definitely, like as Fuzi was saying earlier, different brands have different approaches to what kind of finish they put on things. A lot of them have a texture, which can make them nice to puzzle with, and that texture diffuses light more evenly, so you don't have to worry about shining spots on the puzzle, that sort of thing. So Portland Jigsaw Puzzles, as you can see in this shot, excellent job. We're looking at some reflection in there, so there is a lot of shine coming off these puzzles. So lighting, again, as much as we've talked about it for a while, is really important.
It does seem that puzzling is quite the sensory activity for many people. You know, there's so many different elements as far as touching the pieces, how you see the pieces. I'm intrigued. I am over here thinking, what have I been doing my whole life? Everything except speed puzzling. But I think this weekend, Rob, that's about to change.
That's right, and you'll never go back.
I predict I won't. I might even abandon my entire career and just speed puzzle full time, if
Well,
that's a thing.
you may be disappointed to find that there's not a lot of money to be made in
Shucks.
professional competitive jigsaw puzzling at the moment.
Well,
We're still
Not
a little
yet.
early.
well, 2026, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, there is money to be made. There are cash prizes for some competitions, but probably not enough to sustain a person of not very modest means.
And if you're out there and you're a speed puzzling fanatic and you'd like to sponsor Peace Talks, please feel free to message Rob.
Thanks, I appreciate the plug. There are sponsored teams. So I was talking to the Aussie All-Stars, which is an Australian-based team. They are sponsored this year to go to Worlds. The Golden State Puzzlers have historically been sponsored by Cobble Hill. We had a puzzle from earlier. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that folks are making some kind of, typically what that is some kind of support for travel.
Sure. And I myself am sponsored by the Portland Puzzle Company this weekend.
Yeah, it's also something that I think is going to pick up in the upcoming years because companies are seeing that there's a possibility in speed puzzling now because it's also like a growing market, but there's not that many companies yet that are in it. So they might jump onto sponsorships also for competitions, not just competitors. It's also very important for competitions to get puzzles. Um, so yes, hopefully it's going to be bigger and more companies are going to be open for sponsoring either a person or a competition.
Would there ever be a world that a sponsor would have their logo printed on the actual puzzles that people are competing with?
I'm not sure what that would look like.
Until 2026, Portland Jigsaw Masters.
I think you found a niche that you can you can exploit. You're going to become all things puzzles all the time.
Yep. Are you listening, Uncle Lane?
Yes, I am.
All right, he's listening.
All right, so we got another person who's got the cap all done, the mushroom cap. A lot of space, still some space in the upper left-hand corner there, where behind where the snail is. What I would call a sky, but I'm not sure. I have to talk to some of my sky specialist friends and see if they consider this a sky or not.
Sure.
I would consider it a sky. It is definitely a sky.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider it a sky as well, in so much as it's sort of a gradient with clouds. But, you know, it's not my area of expertise, so I don't want to speak for other people.
Whatever it is, it's definitely golden hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we see that she's going in for that bottom of the mushroom cap. So that's a gradient. We would describe this area as a gradient, yeah, because the colors do fade across the cap or the bottom of the cap.
Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely a gradient. What the challenge might be here is that I have seen on the image that there's lines going the entire area of that brown section of like there's the cap itself or the underneath the cap and the stem as well. They all have lines. So that depending on what kind of puzzler you are, that can either help you orientate of what belongs where, or it
Sure.
can make your job very difficult of like which line points which way.
Totally. A lot of repetition there. And I'm wondering if we can take a look here at the box. Maybe we have the dimensions handy.
It looks like we're getting somebody over a good. I'm seeing Caitlin at table at the far corner table. I think that's table 1, maybe. I think I've accidentally asked for table 2, which you know, I've got the communication with the folks in the back, which is great. But I want to take a look and see where Caitlin is, just because I see her putting. Yeah, I was gonna say I see her putting her tray up on the puzzle, which is usually an indication that she's getting down towards the end, and sure enough, she is. So we got her, and then we've got Zinli going on at the same time. It'd be fun to get those sort of side by side so that we could see how they compare to each other as we kind of drive down to the last parts of this. You can see in the camera shot
Really glossy.
the gloss, the reflection that we're seeing here that makes it a little challenging to, if your light isn't right, to be able to see where your puzzles are, because you can see it just washes out everything. Now, I think that their vantage point of this is a little different than our vantage point, but we can bring them up and ask them. But she sees she's got the shakes going on in her hands.
Yeah, I can see that.
As she's kind of pushing them towards the end there.
Wow, this is so fascinating. So we are on the edge of our seat here as our two competitors go in to claim the first spot, the top spot of this round of individual event. Here we go.
Yeah, see if we can get these side by side. So there's Zen.
Yep.
And you can see that they have about the same amount of space left, I think, and pretty much the same kind of space. Yeah.
Here we go.
Maybe
We've
she
got
has a
some
little
camera
bit
movement.
less left.
Yeah, this one was definitely more of a challenge than it might have seemed.
I wonder if we can get another shot of our other competitor here, who is right up behind her.
Yeah, very often it also happens that when you see that there's just 10, 15 pieces left, you just get more and more nervous because you know how close you are to finishing, especially since you have not heard any clapping or applause yet. So you know that you're up for the very first spots.
Sure.
And this is when the shaky hands, all of a sudden no pieces fit anywhere.
right.
kind of situation happens that like because you're so close, it just gets very, very hectic. Yeah, we can sometimes see this with top puzzlers as well, that it's just
Yeah.
gets to your head that you're so close.
Yeah, it
It's
is crazy
extremely
how
exciting to watch
it,
this.
it is. It's crazy how much puzzling is a head game. Like something I never would have guessed.
I know we're trying to get as good of a shot of our other competitor here as we can.
Yeah, it looks like Zin's out ahead. But Caitlin is pretty close behind.
Caitlin. Oh, here comes Zen.
Yeah, we got about 5 pieces left on Zin's side, about the same amount on Caitlin's side. Sorry, we can't show you both. And
Okay,
Zin finishes
Zen.
it.
And done.
Nice job, Zin.
Wow. Way to go. That was really close.
All right, and there's
Oh,
Caitlin.
wow. That was seconds apart.
Yeah, so
You can hear the commotion in the room.
that's right. It's really exciting when it comes down to the, and as I've been saying, it comes down to seconds. So when I was talking earlier about how Caitlin was really focused and moving fast, and like you could just see the intent, like that it was required here.
She was a much deserved sip of water. 53 minutes. Wow. What a sprint that was. She's disconnecting her live stream, probably for all of her puzzling admirers. That was a cool moment.
And that was really, really impressive.
Within seconds of each other, they finished.
Yeah. Yeah, and here we get the wider shot. Just looking out amongst the audience, I'm seeing actually a fair amount of red caps out in the general competition floor.
Everybody in the
Yes,
chat is saying, wow, so close, so close. Congrats to both.
Here's Sky bringing it home.
Just a couple of
Okay.
pieces left.
Yeah, and these are mostly just red pieces that you just have to be like, well, either I recognize the shape or I have to try and put it in. If it doesn't work, I have to move on to the next one.
Here she goes.
Yeah, this is fun.
All right, Sky. Sky going in for the final piece. Oh. Yeah.
And
There
done.
she goes. Oh, one more. Yep.
Oops.
Little fake out there.
Nice. It's good to have
Well done.
parts of the same team all finish in the same area.
Very
you can see
nice.
why that the girls in Stemp, who they're a team of, is a team to watch for sure.
Yep. We love Stump.
Took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out the P was puzzles. So there we got Rose Robbins again. Looks like she's getting near the end.
All right, Rose Robbins. That is a name.
Extra credit for the merch, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. And that merch is Peace Talks, a podcast hosted by our very own Rob.
True.
Once again, if you're looking to sponsor a puzzle podcast, Rob is accepting inquiries currently.
Sounds like Carly's going to get something like 30% on that.
We'll talk. Wow. So we're seeing some plushies on the side there, on the floor. The plushies have now become the spectators.
Yeah, I really like that nugget about the ducks and programmers. I have to go ask my programmer friends about that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I also only heard that story, from a couple of friends, and then I think from other speed puzzlers as well at one point, that's where it originates from.
Borrow the box here. I'm just looking to see what's down in the corner that the competitor that we're looking at, what's going on down there. Oh, that's the flowers, the white flowers.
That's the
Yeah.
flowers. That's the white flowers.
Wow.
Yeah, this really is a deceivingly difficult puzzle because, we were expecting, somewhere around 40-ish, 40-ish to 44 minutes of finishing.
Mhm.
Because just looking at the image, it seems like because it's a nice illustration with very distinct colors, but then somehow once you look at the pieces, they seem to blend in way more together. The mushroom seems to be very challenging for everyone. And there's just so many little things that make it more difficult than what it actually looks like at first sight.
It does look like the Mushroom Keeper himself is assembled there at the bottom. So that's good. He is the star of the show after all. And I do want to take this moment to point out we do have 105 people watching right now on our live stream. Thank you all so much for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here and follow us on Instagram at Portland Jigsaw Masters.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a good time. We do love if you leave us feedback. We're constantly trying to figure out how to make this better, and your feedback helps. So just let us know what seems to be working for you and what you would prefer to see more or less of.
Absolutely.
We have meetings right after these to talk about your feedback and our feedback and see if we can do better. So the hope is that by the time we get to the finals, things will be as good as they can be.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to get in the DMs right now for the Portland Jigsaw Masters account and see what the feedback is.
Yeah, I'm looking around, and not surprisingly, I'm seeing a lot of it is a challenging puzzle. I'm seeing not as much progress as you might normally expect to see almost an hour into a 500-piece puzzle.
And that's exactly what I was thinking about as well, that at almost an hour, we only have, if I counted correctly, only 3 finishers so far.
Yep. If we could get that scorecard up, that would be perfect. Take a look at our ever-growing list of finishers.
And look at that, the AV department, who's that's the name of the company, who's here doing all the production behind the scenes, right on the spot.
Yep.
So yeah, we got Zinn finishing at 52.32 and 4 seconds behind Caitlin McCluskey, finishing at 52.36. That is great. And then Sky Vandalist finishing at 54.10, a minute 34 behind that. But now we've got, sounds like, or feels like a bit of a gap here. So there's some folks that this puzzle was less challenging for, or were able to get through it faster. And then we've got another wave coming, it looks like. And they're all at the 9.5 pieces per minute, which we were looking at. The winner of the last round was around 11.2, I forget, pieces per minute. So that really also gives you a sense of how different these are speed-wise.
Oh, and we've got our Peace Talk competitor.
It also gives like a very good sense of like how difficult the image is, of like what piece per minute you get from the top competitors. That usually says something. Yeah, because if they don't manage to get somewhere around a 10-ish piece per minute, I would say that's when I would kind of categorize a puzzle as like difficult.
Sure.
Do you recall a particularly difficult puzzle that springs to mind that you've had to do or that you've been an announcer for?
Yes, that was actually one of the first. And there's a finisher at almost 1 hour.
Way to go, Rose.
Yes, there was actually the very first speed puzzle competition that the German association organized. There was, in the individual round, it was a 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle, and it was an Elspeth McLean image, one of those mandala stones, which was pretty much, if you like poured out the pieces, you literally just had dots like everywhere.
Yes.
And we had, I think, almost 130 competitors and only 12 finished, I think, in the given time. And everyone else was still counting pieces at the end. So it's like there was an overhead view that my husband made of the room as we were at the countdown to like the time running out, and you can just see people with like puzzles spread out, like not even close to being finished. That was extremely difficult.
Yeah, that was the same puzzle that was used at the U.S. Nationals last year, right?
I think it's a different one. There's a couple of those, and each of them is very, very challenging. The U.S. Nationals, I think that one of the team puzzles was an Elspeth McLean, which was like, dominantly blue.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful image, but it's super hard as a speed puzzle. That's one. And then, for last year's World, as people were preparing for it, there were some of these nature images which were extremely difficult. There was one with a glacier, which is mostly just blue and dark. And it's like you're looking at a glacier from the inside, and you just see like one patch of sky in the middle, and everything else is just ice everywhere. Yeah, that's also
extremely challenging. Yeah.
So these are the extreme ones.
Sure.
But I think also competition, not just organizers, but also companies are starting to figure out more and more what puzzles are better for speed puzzling, so that it's not just challenging for the first few places or the top finishers, but it's also doable for those that
Oh,
maybe don't finish or those that are not on the speedier side.
all right.
Because, ooh,
Nice job.
congratulations!
Got
I
another
think that's
finisher.
Alex McConsky.
All right, Alex.
Congratulations. So yes, so you pretty much, I think at these competitions, what you want is for everyone to have a good time and not
Sure.
just suffer with the puzzle. So
Yeah.
like you want to provide enough challenge, but at the same time you also want it to be doable. And I would categorize this mushroom puzzle as one of those because it's definitely not easy, but it's also not impossible to do.
Absolutely. As I look out at the floor, I can see, we've had some people, put their jackets on very, very quickly so that they can get straight to their puzzle. We've got all sorts of different competitors out here that are, I'm not really seeing anybody take any breaks, right? So typically you're in the zone, you're not really stepping away from the puzzle at any point, are you?
Well, you don't want to waste your time.
Of course, of course.
There's a set amount of time. I have only seen so far one competition where there was a break, but that was like a competition that was mostly for people like only a small portion of them were like professionals or
Hmm.
experienced puzzlers, and everyone else is more on the casual side. They just went to the competition because it's fun. So you had to do 2,000 piece puzzles in 4 hours, I think. And after 2 hours, you had, I think, a 10-minute break, 10 or
Oh,
15-minute break, just so that
Wow.
everyone can get like a little bit of relax. And another finisher.
At our next finisher. Maybe let's take a look at the
oh yeah.
scorecard because now we have two that just finished within moments of one another.
Yeah, we got the split screen going. That's great.
Yep.
And earlier we were looking at Rose Robbins' mom, Leah, from the back, also sporting some Peace Talks merch. So shout out to Leah.
Peace Talks, the podcast. All right.
Yeah, the
Yep.
finishers are starting to roll in now.
Yep. That's what the chat is saying. We're seeing that we're going to start seeing some back-to-backs now that we're getting towards the final stretch here. Oh, finishing up on the flowers and the
Yep.
Mushroom Keeper.
This is Marissa Martin. She's a member of the same team that Zin is often on, the Puzzle Sharks, which we'll see as a team later.
All right,
And I
Marissa.
think she might be the first one who is actually finishing up on the green sections and
I
not
was
on the
just
mushroom.
thinking
So
that, yeah.
shout out to a
Right.
new strategy.
Yeah, I don't recall if we saw her earlier and if she was one of the ones who had the mushroom cap, like the red part done early and was moved on to other parts. The team that she's on, the Puzzle Sharks, has got all of its members in this round, actually.
And they're pretty much competing against each other this time.
They are. Yeah, they chose poorly. They are a speedy team, though. They're one of our fastest teams.
Wow.
I'm
All
done.
right.
Congratulations.
All right.
Ready?
Portland represent.
All right, I think we're going to start bringing folks on to chat from the people who were in the first, second, and third.
Oh, yes.
Frizzy, do you want to hang out with us some more, or do you want to take your leave at this point?
I think it might be easier if I just log out and you keep on chatting.
'Cause
Yeah, it's also almost midnight here.
I was going to say,
Oh,
it's
yes.
very late.
It might be time for bed.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much for joining us.
I'm-
This has been great.
I am about 9 hours ahead of you, so
Okay, well, I
I
deeply
think it's easier.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy night to spend an hour talking puzzling with us. It's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye. Which
Bye.
brings us to our next segment.
That's right. So now we got the first place winner of individuals round 2. Person I'm not particularly familiar with.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Zin. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Zin. Nice to meet you. I'm Carly. This is Rob, and we just loved watching you and your focus out there. Can you describe how you feel right now?
so tired.
So tired. I know. We were saying that this is a long stretch of time.
It's a long adrenaline rush.
I bet. And so, does it feel any different from when you begin the puzzle to when you're ending the puzzle?
Yeah, and when to start, you're trying to figure out how to like start. So you're trying to build strategy.
Sure.
Like, what's your first step? What are you gonna like pick out and start? So there's like a lot going in your brain.
Sure.
And at the end, you just, you're trying to finish sections. So it's more like speed and just like concentrating.
Do you ever get any shakiness in your hands or any sort of nervous things that happen towards the final stretch?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, just like rotating the pieces. Like my hands are like trying to like, try to rotate them to exactly how they fit, because the random cut especially, they can go many ways. So
Right.
it's a lot of hand movement and position. So
Sure.
Talk us through this puzzle, if you would. What did you think of it? How did you approach it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I don't know why when I opened it I was like, oh no, mushroom again. From last year's PJM was the
Yes.
finals was a mushroom bus, so
Got it.
another mushroom.
Another mushroom moment.
Would you
We're
say this
seeing a
was
trend here.
less challenging than that one?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a very colorful, a very nice image, and there's a lot of clear sections to work on. Obviously, everything except the giant mushroom is pretty doable. So just working on those.
What about the mushroom in particular was the most challenging?
It's just very large. Like it's a big chunk of the puzzle. The red and white, there's like little dots that there's a lot of them, and then the lines on the like stem is very scary.
Sure.
But at least there's some gradient in the picture. Even the red has some gradient,
Sure.
brown, and then So I left those for the end because they were the most pieces and the most challenging.
And so, aside from today here at the Portland Jigsaw Masters, how did you yourself get into puzzling in the first place, and how long ago?
So I started more than a year ago.
Okay.
I think most people watch Karen Puzzle's video on YouTube, and
We've
kind of
heard of
got
her.
got into speed puzzling that way. Then the first thing I did was sign up for the online contest by Jonathan, the speedpuzzling.com contest. So
Okay.
yeah, pretty much I think that's how a lot of people started last year.
Speedpuzzling.com, shout out.
Yeah, it's a really very good to like get started because it's it's online, it's less nerve-wracking because you can do it at your home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the first big contest I did here was the Speed Derby and then the PJM. So that was really my
Sure.
first big competition.
Very cool. And so we were doing a bit of talking about the lighting in here today and how they brought in these diffused LEDs. Did you find that was helpful and that the lighting was even enough for you to be successful today?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think last year it had been more glare,
Sure.
shadows. At least where I'm sitting, it's like pretty good.
Fantastic. And do you have a preference whether you work on a matte puzzle versus a glossier finish?
Oh, definitely a matte.
You prefer the matte?
Yeah. Well, glossy you need like the perfect light conditions
Perfect
to
lighting.
not any reflections. So
Yeah.
it'll depend.
Got it.
How does this lead into your preferences, this puzzle? Is it closer to what you like, or is it farther away from what you like?
I'm not even sure what I like. So
Yeah, she's still finding it,
Listen, I don't want to box you
only
in.
a year
You're
in
the
the
person
game.
you want to be.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think so. I have no clue what I'm good at or what I like.
Well, you were definitely speedy at this one. And this one, we were talking about how deceptively challenging this one was. Because for something that seems pretty straightforward, it actually took a lot longer for folks to finish. Did you find that was just you were going relatively slower to this one, or did it just
Not really.
fall into a groove and go with it?
I feel like I was moving most of the time. So yeah. I have no sense of time when I'm puzzling. So
It all just sort of melts away.
Yep.
That's part of the
Blacked
good part
out.
of that. So are you not necessarily hearing when people are finishing? Like, did you have an idea that nobody had finished ahead of you?
yeah, and my earphones was not that soundproof, so I could hear, but yeah, I didn't hear any clouds before.
Did
So I was like,
did it make you more excited or nervous?
oh yeah, a little bit, because I'm like, oh no, I could do it.
That's right. Or somebody could slip in just at
Yeah,
the last
exactly,
second.
and that's always. I mean, I would feel quite sad to like lose by like a few seconds. So
Sure. Well done out there. The
Yeah.
focus and the determination. It's something else to watch. And what I've really loved. I am not familiar too much, or not at least before today, I wasn't very familiar with the puzzling community, but it seems that there's a really great sense of camaraderie, support. Everybody is really cheering each other on, and even though there's competition, it does seem to be a healthy competition.
Yeah, I love the communities. They're really awesome.
Very nice. And so, remind me again where you are based and located. Is it here in Portland?
Yeah, I used to be puzzling. I used to stay in Portland for like the last 4 years, but I actually just moved 2 weeks ago.
Oh, welcome to Portland.
I just left 2 weeks ago. So
Where did you go?
Seattle.
No.
Oh, you left.
Yeah, I just
So
left. I just
welcome
moved
to
back.
Seattle.
Yeah, I just left and then I'm back again 2 weeks later. So
Right.
All right. Well, we still get to claim you as our own for a while yet, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure, Rob.
especially if you take the cake and you get to take home that sweater, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a cool sweater.
It is a cool sweater. I know everybody really wants that cardigan, so you're on your way.
Oh, I have to work very hard.
Yes. Well, what a beautiful day today. Do you have anything you'd like to say, add, plug? Any comments on the event today?
No, it's so fun to watch. I'm just enjoying myself, just watching on the sidelines. So exciting to watch. So
Love it. Well, congratulations again.
Yeah, it was great to watch you.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Sin.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Didn't realize that we had lost her. We can't claim her for ourselves in Portland for very much longer.
I know. I was so excited when I heard that she moved to Portland, not knowing she was saying she moved from Portland. And I do love that I took it upon myself to be the Welcome to Portland committee when I don't even live here.
Right. All right.
Oh, and we have our next guest.
We do.
Hello. We have our second place finisher. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Caitlin from.
Hi, Kayla. You can go ahead and lean into the mic a little bit more and feel free to throw
Can I
on those
put these on?
headphones. Yeah, for sure. Welcome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, here
So
she is.
official.
You
Yes.
are.
So go ahead and introduce yourself one more time.
I'm Caitlin. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, and I'm now living in Sunnyvale, California.
Great. Amazing. So welcome to the U.S. I myself am half Canadian.
Oh, okay.
My dad grew up in Thornhill. So tell us, what were those final moments like leading up to finishing the puzzle? I know that you probably didn't hear any claps ahead of that, so you maybe were thinking you might be the one to finish first.
I would have thought that's what I was thinking too. And it was, I think I realized right before the end, I was trying to think about the color of the pieces.
Okay.
Which was not working for me. And I started thinking about piece shape. And so it was more of like, oh my God, this is working. I'm doing piece shape. And totally tuned out of what was going on around me.
Sure.
Until I heard the claps. And then I was like, oh, wait. I was
Almost there.
so
was
close.
Weren't
So
far
close.
behind.
Yeah, we were scrambling to try and get you both on the camera at the same time because
Yeah.
it was unclear as to how that was going to end up.
It's just the one camera moving around, right? To try
we
and
have-
capture everybody?
We have three-ish
Oh, okay.
cameras around here. So there's a couple the folks at home are really going to love this. There's a couple of cameras up in the
Yep.
ceiling looking down that provide us sort of 360 views. And then we
Got
have
it.
a roving camera person around here, again, provided by the great people at the AV department. So how did you like this puzzle?
I loved it.
Did
I
you?
think it's these kind of colors, like they're still bright, but I find them to be like maybe slightly more earthy tones.
Maggie just finished.
I really like those colors, and I think it's a cute image. The cute little guy, the
Very
snail,
cute. The mushroom
the
keeper.
mushroom,
Yeah.
yeah, the flowers, the strawberries. I liked it all, except I guess the brown bit at the end.
Yes, and that is a Kelsey Sweet original design. Kelsey Sweet is the designer of the puzzle here that we're using for this round. Of course, manufactured here locally in Portland by the Portland Puzzle Company. So, have you ever been to Portland before?
No, this is my first time.
Mine too. And so, how are you liking the people, the vibe so far?
It's lovely. I came a day early. Yesterday I arrived Thursday morning, so I could do like a food tour and walk around
nice.
Very
downtown.
nice. And what did you eat, and what was your favorite item on the food tour?
Okay, two things. We had a miso katsu sando at a food truck, which was delicious. And then we had the s'mores from Toasted. Is that right?
Sounds delicious and sounds accurate.
We were told that s'mores are a big deal in Portland, and they were incredible. Like homemade graham crackers, marshmallows. It was really good.
I did not know this.
I will go back.
My household is a big fan of s'mores, but
Yeah.
I did not realize that it had become a Portland staple. So clearly, we've got to get out more.
The more you know. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I could be
Wow.
wrong. This is
Right,
what we were
completely made
told
up.
by our food tour guide.
All right. Well, it's convinced me. I need to go find these places. So, Caitlin, you were originally in Canada.
Yes.
You were a part of a great team in Canada.
Yes.
You moved all the way across the continent.
Yep.
To become part of a great team on the other side of the continent.
I know, I got
Tell me
lucky.
about that journey.
I think in Canada, there just weren't a lot of less puzzlers than there probably are in the U.S. So I met Devin at Worlds in 2023, and so after Worlds, I messaged her and said, "Hey, I'm going back. Are you going back? Let's make a team."
Love it.
And then kind of assembled. She was pairing with Sophie, and then Sandy messaged us, and they're all fantastic, lovely, lovely women. And then coming here, I think Chloe and Sky had posted on Facebook looking for a Minnesota team.
Okay.
And they had already found team members by the time I messaged them. So that
Right.
luck was not meant to be there.
Sure.
They said, "What about nationals?" Which I didn't look them up at all. I didn't know anything about them, their puzzling ability. I just said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Do it.
Sure. I mean, it's all about the teamwork, and it's more so about the friendship, it seems.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes. And then we asked Hannah, she wanted to join us. She didn't know the three of us either.
Oh,
and then
wow.
we met for the first time, and I think we all knew of like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now we all live close to each other, so we can meet all the time.
Oh, fantastic.
So because I just moved, now I have my own friends.
Instant
yeah,
friend.
Instant friends.
all through the shared love of speed puzzling,
yes.
which is what we are celebrating here today at the Portland Jigsaw Masters. And so when it comes down to the finish of the puzzle, do you prefer the matte to the glossy? How do you feel about the lighting today? Was it working for you, against you? Maybe talk a little bit about that.
I feel like the corner I was in, the lighting was okay. I would say I do a lot of sitting and puzzling, but today I was standing a lot. I think that was because of the lighting. It was probably easier to see standing overhead.
Right. Get a different angle.
Yeah, but maybe because it was I'm looking at the corner. I think it's a bit darker than some of these tables, so maybe the glare wasn't as bad for me. I don't know if it's more of an issue for other people. But I'd go matte if I'm picking the perfect
If you had
puzzle.
to select.
Yes, I'd pick one that doesn't have the shines, that I can see the pieces from any angle.
Sure.
Heal my back by sitting down.
Yes, 100%. And so how long have you been into speed puzzling, and did you ever expect that this was going to be a part of your life?
No. I had a friend in university who I'd have people over to my dorm to do puzzles. So I was
Yeah.
into puzzles. I was into
Sure.
doing them in groups of people and kind of the community. And he would come join and hang out, but he didn't want to do the puzzles because he said they were too competitive. And me and my friends were like, puzzles aren't competitive. This is just for fun. We're having
fun.
a good time.
Yes, of course.
So I've had to tell him he was right, that it is very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And he had reason to maybe not want to participate.
Right. So since university, you've been a puzzler.
Probably since I was a kid, I remember doing, I want to say we had one puzzle and I did it over and over again.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Can you remember the puzzle?
It was a farm. I cannot remember the brand. And
Sure.
I feel like if I saw it again, I'd recognize it, but I don't think I could describe it to anyone to try and find the puzzle.
Well, who knows? Maybe one of these days you'll show up to a competition and all the memories will come
I
flooding
think that
back.
would make me really, really happy.
Yes.
How great would that be? Yeah.
How cool. Well, I'm putting that out in the universe for you.
Thank you.
I hope that does happen. So are there any other competitions that you're thinking of attending in the next few weeks, months?
Yeah, a woman in our area in the Bay Area in California is hosting a 12-hour puzzle marathon in August. I attended the 24-hour marathon in Orange County earlier this year, which was very fun, but it was maybe maybe 24 hours is
Little
too long.
too intense.
So 12 hours is going to, I think, hopefully,
Well,
be the
now
right
that
amount
you've
of
done
time.
the 24, I'm sure the 12 will
Yeah,
be a
I'll be
piece
like,
of
oh,
cake.
this is so easy.
Totally. Totally. And as you can see from our scoreboard here, we've got at least 17 finishers. I wonder if we scroll down if there are more. But it looks like the list is filling up. So your average, it looks like, was 9.5 pieces a minute. Is that right? Mm-hmm. 9.5 pieces a minute was your average as far as how many you assembled. How do we feel about that number?
I do technically track the piece per minute, but I don't. I pay more attention to the finish time.
Sure.
So 52 minutes, that's a good time for me
Good.
on this
Very
puzzle.
nice.
So I'm feeling, minus 4 seconds faster.
Right.
Sorry, it's
Right.
hard.
Right.
I'm very happy.
So what do you think happened in those 4 seconds? Where do you think that time was maybe lost for you along the 52 minutes?
There's, I heard a guy, Jim, I forget Mari's partner.
Jim Eakins.
Yeah, he said one time that like those kind of seconds could be just the way you dumped out the puzzle pieces from the bag.
Interesting.
And how many were flipped right side up when you dumped out the pieces. So that 4 seconds, that could be anything.
That's an interesting
Who knows?
perspective, for sure.
I could have, wiped my forehead with my hand.
Totally. And it all adds up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just is an indication of the level of competition that you're able to achieve where like you are right in there, you're at the top. If to your point, if the puzzle pieces had tumbled out a different way, the positions may have been reversed. I was talking about how on the camera you looked like you were intent, you looked like you were focused, looked like you were moving fast. So it doesn't seem from lack of effort or application that you lost those seconds.
Actively telling myself, don't slow down. You can't slow down yet. It's so close.
Don't slow down.
Keep
You're
going.
going to lose 4 seconds.
I'm going to lose 4 seconds.
You'll wake up in a cold sweat tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's what I'll tell myself in the final. Like,
Yeah. You don't have the 4
We don't
seconds to
have 4
lose this
seconds.
time.
Yeah, I always think of Amelia Lieberman had said something around the idea of like what you have to do is just keep that you're going fast. You just need to keep that in mind that you're always you need to be going fast all the time.
Yep.
She says it far more eloquently than I do, but I keep that in mind a lot. Is like whenever I feel myself starting to slow down, it's like go faster. You're
Yep.
supposed to go faster.
Yep.
Right. And I saw puzzling Susie over there. She had a moment. She had to put on her jacket, and she was in a bit of a panic over there, quickly putting it on as to not lose 4 seconds. Right. But what we're seeing out here is a lot of focus. If we could get that scoreboard up one more time, I'd love to see how many are outstanding. It looks like it's about half and half, if I'm not mistaken.
We got about 20.
Yeah, we got about
Can't see 'em all
20.
here on the screen.
49 competitors here on the floor. And shout out once again to our venue for this event, Avenue Portland, and the AV team for their fantastic work on this live stream for you guys.
Absolutely.
It is not easy to put on an event like this, especially with all of the little details in mind between the lighting, the finish of the puzzles, and getting the puzzles here themselves.
That camera angle which one are we seeing on the screen?
The
right
wide, we're seeing all 4.
Right now?
We're looking on the left-hand side is what the stream's seeing.
Oh, I see. Okay. When they show the the view where it's all the people puzzling, like all the multiple puzzle tables, that's fun to be able to see both the individuals finishing puzzles and where
Yeah.
everyone else is at. That's
Yeah.
neat.
Well, there you go.
Yep, and
Ask
then
and ye shall receive.
Yep, we've got people on the chat saying they're loving the wide shots so they can
Yeah.
see all their friends.
Yes.
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 Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, so much. Is there some place that people can go to follow you?
I'm on Instagram at Monday Night Puzzle Club.
Awesome.
At Monday Night Puzzle Club.
Thank you so much.
Caitlin.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. All
congratulations. Emily Frost, the casual puzzler.
right,
Finishing
Emily
up.
Frost. Fantastic. Awesome. Yep. Perfect. Communicating with our team here.
All right, and then we've got one more coming up with it for us.
Hello. Welcome. Please grab a headset.
Oh, okay.
Yep, welcome. And
Weird.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sky Vandalist.
Hi, Sky. My name is Carly. This is Rob. I'm sure you've met.
We haven't.
You haven't.
How are you?
Oh, nice to meet you more officially.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we drove by each other maybe at Nationals.
Yes. And I listened to your podcast. It's excellent. I'm so glad you're doing that for
So we have
the speed
another-
puzzling community.
Thank you. That
Yeah,
was very
we've got
kind
a
of you to
Peace
say.
Talks fan in the house in Sky. How fantastic.
Gives me tingles every time somebody says that because it feels unreal. You know, you're sitting there talking to people in your little office area,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just send a file out, and it's weird that other people are listening. But I'm happy that people are getting something out of that.
Fantastic.
So, Sky, what did you think about this puzzle?
Oh, I thought it was really beautiful. I loved the colors. I love red in a puzzle. My favorite part by far was the snail. I don't know if anyone
Yeah.
else has talked about the snail, but
No.
it was
Little
just
smile.
so cute.
So cute.
Yeah, and I loved the little ear thingies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the snail's got its little antennae. off the side.
Yes.
Yep.
yes.
And what did you think of the mushroom keeper himself and his overalls and his hat?
Super cute. I actually didn't get to him until pretty late in the puzzle because I was like so focused on like the top portion.
Sure.
But yeah, that was super cute as well. But clearly, I prefer snails. I don't know.
Yeah. And so do you tend to gravitate towards a certain type of artwork when you're practicing your speed puzzling?
I try to practice everything because that helps because you can't control what you get in a competition setting.
Sure.
And like, I think the variety of art available is one of the things I like about puzzling. But definitely, I love bright colors like a lot of people do. But yeah, I can appreciate a lot of different things. One of the things I do tend to like is a larger section of a single kind of color type.
Okay.
And I found myself kind of focusing maybe slightly too much on this puzzle.
Right.
On the red part?
Yeah, because there's like the cap. I actually like the underneath the cap even more.
Sure.
And I was really tempted to just like kind of do all of that right away.
The
Like I was
gradient.
saying, I didn't even get to the cute like gardener at the bottom until pretty late in the puzzle because I was so excited about doing
Getting the mushroom done.
Yeah.
Cool. And so did you find that sort of underbelly of the cap, was that hard for you with all of the lines and the gradient involved?
I think it was hard, but I really liked it, I guess.
Fun challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. And how long have you been puzzling?
I've been like puzzling for kind of a while, but not like speed puzzling until
Okay.
not last November, but the November before, like 2023. I actually watched some of the Worlds recap videos with my roommate Chloe.
Okay.
And we were super excited about trying out like pairs ourselves. So
Yeah.
we ordered one of the puzzles from Worlds and we did pairs. And we were like, well, we wouldn't have qualified for the next round, but that was so fun. Like,
Sure.
I want to do this again.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into speed puzzling. And I think it was kind of a revolution to be like before, a lot of times you just leave a 1,000-piece puzzle out and kind of do it occasionally between other things, but kind of like dedicating like focused time where I'm completing this all in one sitting made puzzling like a lot more enjoyable for me actually.
Sure.
So-
There's a lot of joy in that and the hyperfixation and getting
yeah,
it all
like
done
the
in that moment.
focus and having it be something where I'm like I am creating a space to do this for the next hour, and then I'll go do my laundry or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, 100%. And so, how do you feel when you compete or practice as an individual versus when you're working with a teammate or in pairs?
Yeah, so Chloe is my roommate and my pair.
Okay.
So we practice pairs like a lot, and it is so much fun because we're friends. We love to chat.
Yeah.
And we can support each other. And I think that helps you kind of take a step back sometimes and consider like whether you're doing the right parts of the puzzle. And you can also kind of divide based on strengths. So I think that's nice. Yeah,
one
it's a
person.
lot of fun to puzzle with others. Where with individuals it tends to be more focused. I still try to bring that fun, like
Yeah.
I'm like kind of like humming along to the music,
Sure,
you know, and yeah, and I definitely hear like the voices of my teammates in my head sometimes where I'm like, oh, this is not the right thing to be doing, and
Sure.
you know, they would tell me that.
Don't
if they were
focus on the
here.
borders. Focus on the gradient.
Yeah, or like things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a playlist that you, when you're doing individuals, that you play, or?
I don't actually like use earbuds when I'm in competition.
All right.
Sometimes I will puzzle with music at home. But I think that like I like being like in the space
Yeah.
in the moment.
Sure.
And I think that's part of what makes it really cool for me. So I don't like to have headphones.
What'd you think about
Sure.
having the music supplied for you then?
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Great, because we are the fun competition. We are the fun competition that is the Portland Jigsaw Masters 2025. And so did you attend the Portland Jigsaw Masters last year, or is this your first time?
This is my first time. Yeah,
Okay.
I think last year I heard about it vaguely, kind of like during or slightly after it happened. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of fun. So maybe next year. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and you're on your way. I mean, second place, or I'm sorry, which place did we finish in? Third place. That's right. It's been a long hour and a half. So third place you finished in. So are you looking forward to the pairs now that the individual, is out of the way for the moment?
Oh, I'm so excited for pairs. Yeah, I can't wait to be back puzzling again. Maybe I'll try to sneak in a little puzzle in between.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
Yes, exactly. Great. Well, we are here live at the Portland Jigsaw Masters, once again sponsored by the Portland Puzzle Company. Let's see how many competitors out there on the floor. We've got maybe a handful, maybe 15 or so
like that.
left. Yeah.
15, maybe even 20. There's quite a few.
Maybe even 20. And so do you have any sort of pre-puzzling rituals that you might do? Maybe the morning of the big competition, is there a specific breakfast you eat or any sort of ritual to get sort of in the zone and prepared to crush the competition?
Yeah, I feel like I get a decent amount of nerves like before I'm puzzling. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it makes it kind of like my stomach doesn't feel great about like eating like tons of food in the morning. So I just eat whatever I feel like good about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I feel like in order to kind of relieve the anxiety, I love to be like doing puzzles beforehand because
interesting.
as soon as I'm like doing a puzzle, I'm not feeling any of the like nerves about it. I'm just like enjoying the puzzle. So I love like in between the first round and the second round, I actually got together with some of my teammates who you'll maybe see later this weekend.
I believe you're part of the STEMP team.
Yes,
right?
yes, Girls in STEMP. And we were doing some Portland puzzles. There were some really beautiful images.
Amazing. Yes. And the one today, of course, we all love and appreciate by Kelsey Sweet here on this preliminary round. And we have another finisher coming in close at the bottom of that mushroom cap that we were talking about. Just a few more pieces here.
We haven't seen somebody missing. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Piece was on top of the puzzle.
All right.
Yeah, it's always dangerous because it can help to get them closer to the spot so you can see them, but then you can lose track of them more easily. So it's always like a little bit of a risk.
Sure. And feel free to drop any questions in the chat. We are here at the Portland Jigsaw Masters, soaking it all up. And how did we feel about the lighting today and how it affected sort of your performance throughout?
Yeah, I would say that there was a bit of glare. The puzzle is kind of a shinier finish.
Yeah.
So I would do like a little bit of like head adjustments to like kind of get different angles on the pieces.
Sure.
But overall, I don't think it was interfering too much.
Okay, good. Very, very good.
Cool. Thanks, Sky. Thank you for coming and joining with us. It's been great.
Yeah.
Is there a place that people can follow you?
Oh, yeah. I am Dolores Park Puzzlers on Instagram with my roommate, Chloe. So
Dolores Park Puzzlers. Make sure to follow them on Instagram. Thank you so much, Sky. And once
nice
again,
job.
Yeah, you'll see this is our
there it is.
logo,
Dolores Park Puzzlers.
But yeah.
There it is. Represent. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll see you in pairs.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sky.
Bye. Fantastic.
All right. We've got on the line with us our guest for the next little portion of the live stream.
Oh, fantastic.
So Zach Hill from Zachco Puzzles. I believe you're out there. Zach, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. I see myself. How's it
Zach,
going, Rob?
Look at what a festive background you have there.
I know we were kind of agonizing about what I should do. I had a more professional setup over at my desk, but this seemed festive, It's day one of the tournament.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Carly, by the way.
Nice to meet you. Yes.
Excellent job so far.
Thank you so much. Yes, and we are the fun competition, so you are right on the money with your decor.
So, Zach, for the folks who don't know who you are, or possibly Carly, why don't you give us a little quick hit on who you are?
Sure. My name is Zach Hill, and my company is Zacco Puzzle Boards. So we do everything jigsaw puzzle accessories. So boards, sorters, box top holders, and the last few years really a huge focus on speed puzzling. So we have a speed puzzling lineup, usually focusing on the idea of a 3-sided tray But we'll get
Which I
more
think
into
we could
that,
see in
but-
the shot here, actually, in the background of the shot. Is those yours on the left hand in the back? I see a couple of three-sided blackboards.
Oh yeah. Oh, good catch. Oh yeah. You know what a Zacco looks like, Rob.
There it is.
No, I'm having a blast, and actually, I always have my pen and paper here, and I love that this is recorded too, so we can go back and look. I like to see the different strategies and kind of take my time, see who's using what. There's a really big world of jigsaw puzzle accessories you might not know of, so we're going to educate Carly a little bit right now too, get her up to speed.
Do it. So actually, I want to start with one of the things that you've been doing that has captured my imagination for the last couple of times that we've talked is that, and Carly's just vanished, by the way. I know that you provided the table dividers for nationals, and last I saw you'd iterated on those in a pretty cool way. Tell me more about where you are with that.
Well, luckily for these puzzlers today, they don't have to contend with sharing a table. I mean, this is ideal circumstance. You can really do that explosion type method, get the puzzle pieces wherever you want. But generally, that's not the case. Usually, this is pretty rare from my understanding. So the table divider that we brought to nationals was to solve the problem of piece transfer. So when there's a solos and pairs event, a lot of times the puzzlers will share a table, as we know. So blue tape is generally that method to, draw a line in the sand or differentiate between side A and side B. But horror stories year after year about, I was looking for the last piece and it was over there on the other puzzler's table. I mean, we just cannot have that. And I think the Reuters were telling me about a story last year. So, so I'm on a mission to end the blue tape divider and kind of come up with a professional, something a little bit more substantial. So we had a big success with that rollout at nationals, working with Becca and the team, and now we've made an iteration of that. So we're using a fancier material, and it's adjustable now.
Wow.
So we like where this is going. There will be that debut in August. It's kind of a secret at the moment. I don't know why it's a secret. It's self-imposed secret.
Right,
But,
it's just because it's so advantageous to any competition that has it that they don't want to let it leak.
Well, with the divider, the initial idea was to stop or prevent piece transfer. But what we noticed is the feedback was it actually created more space on the table because puzzlers were able to go up right to that border line, as opposed to when it's blue tape, it's not going to prevent any pieces from sliding. They'll stay away. So you're actually adding, at least a few inches to your overall puzzling area. So when space management is really key in this kind of event.
Yeah, we noticed that immediately at nationals when we were competing competing at a table that was divided. Is that usually, as he says, there's a blue tape. You've got to put your box sort of as close as you can and not invade the other person's space. And then when you had these actual physical dividers, you could just put everything right up to it. You didn't have to worry about it, and it did give you probably 3-4 inches of space on the side of your table. And when you're talking about a half of a regular table, every little bit matters. So yeah.
Yep.
So Zach,
who do we have on screen here?
I don't know. Their name tag is just off the screen, so I couldn't tell you. But Zach, I know that you're always thinking about the kinds of problems that need to be solved in the puzzling community. What kinds of things are on your mind right now?
Every day it's a whirlwind of new ideas. And best part is, and I forget one of the guests mentioned this, was if you ask a question to the puzzle community, they will answer in detail.
Yes.
And it's been the best part of developing this company over the last 5 years is the amount of participation and feedback, and not to mention just absolutely great personalities, and in the sense too of patience, just quality folks.
Quality
so it's
people.
been easy. Yeah, and trying to fill a void in this space has been fun because it really just gathering the feedback from what puzzlers want, and we're really not tied to any specific design for any product that we have. We're always trying to come up with the next generation, make it better, and also or fulfill more needs. Every puzzler is different styles, so it really comes down to getting the right products for you, the right accessories, and using the rules to absolute benefit.
Right, and creating quality dividers for quality people, it seems. We have a bunch of puzzlers here in our comment section in the chat saying that they really appreciate the dividers and that the dividers were rad.
Awesome.
I would agree with that sentiment. I've lost entirely
Tools,
track
dividers, dividers and tools.
Well, last we talked, Zach, you had a number of things that were sort of in the works. Any progress? Anything that you can talk about?
I'm just glad that you blanked first, Rob, because I know that
This is my life, my friend. This is just how I live.
I had a feeling that was going to happen to me, so now you make me feel better. It does.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Which is why we love to puzzle, because it pulls in our concentration and our focus and helps train us with our hyperfixation on the puzzles themselves.
Well, my wife was telling me, because we have a new product that we're thinking of, not really much development, but looking around today, and this is an idea that comes from Tammy and Yvonne, and I think some of the other Golden State puzzlers, which is a transparent sorter, which you don't see a lot of out there. This would allow you to sort the pieces, but actually lay the tray on top of the puzzle without losing sight of the
Interesting.
puzzle. So that's something we want to explore. But everything that we do focuses around either 3 sides or less for easy piece transfer onto the main puzzle. So if you're going to be, especially when Teams comes up and you see this, well, space management is absolutely key. So usually everybody has a tray or a tray strategy. So, yeah, we just want to be able to provide the most amount of options.
The 3-sided trays are great because they give you an edge so that stuff doesn't fall off. You can sort onto them, but if you've assembled something or you just need to remove the pieces, that extra side you can just slide off. You don't have to bump things up over the top or lift them up, or they don't fall over or get turned over.
Sure.
Wow, what a day. So here at the Portland Jigsaw Masters, the competition is fierce as ever. We have about, if my math is correct, 17 minutes remaining, or approximately 16 minutes remaining here in this round. Once again, beautiful community out here, and the community themselves are the ones that provide the feedback for the products, the dividers, all
There's
of
the
the
three-sided
tools.
divider right there.
And here's a close-up now of a 3-sided divider.
Right, yep.
One of the things I love is how plugged into the community you are, Zach. Not only are you a great sponsor, you sponsor this event, as a matter of fact. I invited you along before I even knew that, but I'm not surprised to find you here. But I love that I reached out to you, I think, at some point, and I was like, I really love your box top holders. But I have this challenge when I'm trying to plug something into it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we have a fix for that. Here's a new version of that thing because we listened to the community and we were hearing that problem." So I just love how you're always thinking about what is going on out there. How can we supply the people who are at every level of the competition with the thing they need to be most successful?
That's how they do it at Zatco.
That's how we do it at Zatco. Yeah, well, we're always that's how we're going to make it here. So I think we're looking at, I think that's a masterpieces fold-out box top holder. A lot of the popular ones for these tournaments are super lightweight, it's easy to travel with. So that's something we're looking to incorporate too, just cutting down on the size. And but we started off as a kind of an heirloom puzzle board company, fine woodworking, and now that's started to transform into product development, inventions within the puzzle space, and trying to solve as many problems as possible. So we're having a blast.
Right, we're seeing here in the chat, people are saying that 3-sided sorters are so handy too. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, I'd say shout out to Sarah Does Puzzles, and he was the one who first came to me for that. Alyssa Zackler too, out west. So I sponsored both of them for the world competition
Love
2
it.
years ago. And that's when they first got traction. And since then, we've worked through a few different iterations, and I'm really happy about this new version that I have. The newer material, the way it comes together, lighter weight, absolutely flawless finish. And we were talking about matte versus gloss, satin. So everything that we do is matte as well.
Right.
So I think that's the right logic. It seems like it's overwhelming the amount of people that will say matte is preferred when you're trying to assemble it quickly.
Now, I don't remember seeing any like logo patches or anything that were Zatco sponsored for any of the people that you talked about.
No. Well, yeah, I got to get that together. But we definitely sponsored. We're always sponsoring with the accessories, but we have been starting to sponsor individuals for certain events. I mean, we just want to see this speed puzzling really proliferate and not lose momentum. So I'm trying to, it's good marketing for us too. So I prefer to sponsor an individual or a team than just run another ad. Although that's important too. But really want to help puzzlers get to these events, especially when, there's like you said, not a lot of money to be made, and you have to pay for travel. So that's where companies like Zatco and Cobble Hill, White Mountain, I know, Ravensburger, of course, and really stepped up. Masterpieces, really stepping up and doing what they need to do, which is sponsor.
Right. And it's all about giving back to our speed puzzlers because we can tell that everybody has a shared passion for it. Everybody is so joyful as they puzzle. I mean, every day they're puzzling. And we've got one more finisher coming up right now with our Everyday I'm Puzzling shirt.
I like the force of putting those last pieces in place. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
speaks to like yes, I'm almost done.
The
I conquered
intensity.
this thing.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yes.
every day puzzling.
Hey, there's Minty Fizz, Kelly.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Kelly off to the side there. Yep,
Right,
there's
and
a regular who's who of folks, and you see Gene Reuter in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Portland Puzzle, the Portland Jigsaw Master draws all the big hitters.
Yes, and a special shout out to our volunteers. Of course, our volunteers are out here on the floor, making sure that we're taking accurate records of all the times, all of the players, how they're finishing, and making this event a true success. We could not do it without our volunteers. So, Zach, aside from revolutionizing the speed puzzling tools out there, what else do you have on the docket for the remainder of the year?
Oh, wow. Where do I start? First of all, I wanted to say hi, Mom. And I wanted to say I love you. And thanks to Debbie Hill. She was really the catalyst for getting this launched. I probably would have waited a few more years until everything was perfectly right.
Sure.
But she was the one who pushed me to get out there. And that was the best thing because I started getting real-time feedback and really able to prototype it. I guess you want to call it real-time.
Yeah.
Where instead of just waiting and doing focus groups, actually putting them to work in tournament. So what was your question?
What else do you have set up for the year? For what's the future of Zatco looking like?
Well, we have the New York State first in person in at least a long time with
All right.
speedpuzzling.com. Jonathan, that's next weekend. OC Speed Puzzlers, August 3rd. And then there's a Chicago, their first sanctioned event, the 19th, I believe. Don't quote me, but a lot. I mean, this is speed puzzling season, all going into Worlds, and then we're right into Nationals next year. It really doesn't stop. There's
Yeah,
a full
it's
season.
speeding along.
It really is.
10 minutes to go. Let's
Yep,
keep
and
puzzling.
we've got
Keep
10
puzzling.
minutes to go. That's Lane Weatherly you hear on the mic, one of our owners of the Portland Puzzle Company, who's putting on this beautiful event today. Zach, so you shouted out your mom. Anything else to add?
Hey, congrats there. No, not much to add. I'm just super pumped to have be on here. Thanks for inviting me, Rob. Go catch a break if you can. You guys are going back to back to back.
We are. I shoved 4 sandwiches in my mouth between the last break and this one. So who knows what the future holds.
Zach, tell people where they can find you.
Okay, we're at Zacko Puzzle Board, so it's ZAKCO Puzzle Boards, and that's on Instagram and Facebook, and soon to launch www.zackopuzzleboards.
Nice.
Zacko
You can find
Puzzle
us there,
Boards.
and our shop is on Etsy. You can find us on some other puzzle companies as well, but Etsy's primarily where we are.
Awesome. Zach, thank you for taking some time to hang out with us today.
Nice to meet you,
Thanks
Zach.
so much. Hey, nice to meet you too. See you around, guys. Good luck.
Yes, take care.
All right.
All right, we're coming down to the last 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes.
Wow.
And here we can see that somebody's come through. They've gotten those white flowers, the challenging part in, but they've got the stem of that, the mushroom, along with the
mushroom.
underside of the cap.
Yep.
With that's a challenging part of this.
You know, it's really amazing when you take a headphone off to hear all the activity going on in this room. I feel like I'm in a haze here. We've been in a Portland Jigsaw time warp here, almost 2 hours once again.
Yeah, and we've got somebody just about to finish here.
All right.
I love like I said, I love the people who persevere all the way through.
All the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
There she goes. Fantastic work.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's about the fun of being with folks. Sometimes it's about a personal best. Sometimes it's about just doing a great puzzle. You can get a joy out of this a lot of different ways. And so it's not just about being the number one person across the line.
Oh, and so exciting. So as we mentioned, the designer of this puzzle is it's Kelsey Sweet, but we have the artist herself here to join us to describe the puzzle.
Oh, that's great.
So Kelsey Sweet, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Sweet. I am the artist and designer of the puzzle that everyone's been working on for the past almost 2 hours.
So how does it make you feel to be looking out at the floor today and seeing everyone construct your beautiful piece, which, by the way, people are loving the little snail, people are loving the mushroom keeper himself. What inspired this artwork, and how does it make you feel to see everyone enjoying it today?
To see everybody enjoying it has been amazing. I think my favorite part is the big unveiling. Yeah. I didn't share this on any social media. I kind of kept it, just to myself because I knew we were going to use this for the event today. So yeah, just to see everybody get excited and love the colors and love the little mushroom guy. He was inspired by kind of just a vision I had in my head where I just I was like, it'd be really fun to just see a little gnome garden keeper that lives in a toadstool home and takes care of his little world. And
very sweet.
I'm glad people love it so much. And yeah, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, we had a lot of competitors comment on how much they loved the colors specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, aside from the vision that you had, do you like strawberries typically? Do you eat strawberries? What inspired the strawberries of it all?
I just thought they looked really great in the little image, and I felt like he loves strawberries.
He's a guy.
I was kind of thinking of what he would want. So
yeah, what he would want.
A giant
this does feel like this does feel like this is several meals for this person.
Right, and while some people here in Portland enjoy s'mores, for example, the Portland staple s'mores, our mushroom keeper here enjoys strawberries. And so how long did it take for you to create this image?
I do everything digital, so I have it tracked on my iPad. I use Procreate. And I just checked, and it was 12 hours total.
12 hours of work. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the hard work definitely paid off. It's a beautiful piece. And so how have you been enjoying getting to know the puzzle community this weekend?
I love it. I love the puzzle people. I did an event here last year. I did the Portland City of Roses.
Oh, yeah, that was a beautiful puzzle.
Yeah, so I got a lot of feedback on that. And so this is the first design that I've done for a puzzle. That one I did as a poster first, and I thought it would translate really well to a puzzle. But this one I thought about everybody here today and what they would like and what would work for them. So people really like the gradient on the mushroom. They thanked me for that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, obviously, lots of thought went into it. And actually, we would love to know from you, do you consider that a sky? Is it golden hour? Because we hear that a lot of puzzlers, they gravitate, some are sky people, some are more foliage or fur people. Would you describe this as a sky behind the mushroom?
Yes, I would describe it as like morning. He's just waking up. He's taking care of, the garden. And the snail is, watching the world wake up, vibing, hanging out. So
Did you have a thought on which parts people were going to find were more challenging than other parts?
I did think the big mushroom was going to be the most challenging piece because it's so large and very similar. And I think I was right on that. I think people watching them do it, I think the snail was the first. And then the last thing that not everybody, but I think a lot of people finished with was the big mushroom. So,
Yes. And so, are you a speed puzzler yourself?
I am not. I do love to puzzle, but I think I like to have a glass of wine and kind of relax. I think speed puzzling is amazing, but it's just a little too fast.
A little intense, a little
Yes.
intense, especially considering, you took your 12 hours to create this beautiful
Yes.
image. You like to take your time, attention to the
Exactly.
details. Very, very nice. And so are you local to Portland then?
I am, yep. So I
Okay.
print my puzzles through the Portland Puzzle Company,
Okay.
and I've worked with those guys for a few years, and they've been great, and I want to keep making more. So people
Fantastic.
today have been giving me a lot of ideas on more to do.
Oh,
that right?
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see more puzzles from you in the future. As you can see, we are nearing the end. I believe Lane here, who is one of our co-owners of the Portland Puzzle Company, is going to give our 2-minute warning here in a moment. But let's go ahead and let the people know where everyone can follow you on social media or keep up with your creations.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Kelsey Sweet Design, and I also have my website, which is kelseysweetdesign.com, and an Etsy, Kelsey, same thing, Kelsey Sweet Design. So
Fabulous. And how long have you been creating art?
forever.
Forever and ever. Great.
So I just started doing puzzles recently, but I've been creating greeting cards.
Okay,
and
guys,
prints,
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
Ever.
Keep
Forever and
puzzling.
I'll keep doing it.
Remember, 3 or more pieces count as a put together. We're only going to count at the end 2 pieces or less. So if you've got a chance to put 3 together, please do that.
Lane taking just as long with that announcement as you did to create this piece. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today. Congratulations again on having your beautiful work displayed here. Once again, go ahead and give her a follow at Kelsey Sweet Design or visit her website, kelseysweetdesign.com. And we hope to see more puzzles and prints and all the things from you in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Fabulous. So we are approaching the end of our 2 hours here at the Portland Jigsaw Masters 2025. Thank you again to Zatco for joining us. Of course, Zatco provides the sorting boards and is revolutionizing the products here to support our speed puzzlers, as it is a refined art form, and not only that, but a sport.
We were a minute ago. We were looking at Susie Pete, who is a fixture, in my opinion, in the best possible way
Absolutely.
on the puzzling scene. I saw Matt in the comments saying, "Go Susie, she's so close." Absolutely,
Come on,
100%
Susie.
agree with that. Also using a Zatco 3-sided board, if I'm not incorrect. So a confluence of a few fun things there.
We have a few puzzlers here that have accepted their fate and are simply sitting and watching and observing the others. All right, we've
Okay,
got
guys,
movement on
10
the floor.
seconds.
10 seconds. Oh,
We're gonna
can we
count
get
it
a shot
down
of
here.
Susie? How's Susie doing?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
All right, Susie had just a few left.
Awesome job. Awesome
We've got
job.
job, everybody.
celebration.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pleasant Susie.
Susie is ecstatic.
All right. All right.
She did great.
If you don't mind, with the puzzle pieces that you have left, kind of push them off to the side. If you've got 3 or more, again, it counts. So only count the puzzles that are 2 or less, and then we'll get your score. And also, we have a pretty quick turn to the final, or not the final, the final of the day, the duos.
Duos coming
Our
on
first
up.
duo prelim, which starts at 4. So
Wrapping up.
we'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right. Well, that concludes our second round of prelims. Isn't that right, Rob?
It sure does. Thank you for joining me today here on this, Carly. This has been great. Folks, make sure that you tune in to the next stream, the duos, as Lane was just saying. Starting up not too soon, not too long from now. So
Yep.
we're going to roll right back into it again and look forward to seeing you there.
I'll be getting a coffee and some snacks. I don't know about you, Rob.
Yeah, same.
All right. See you guys at the next one.